In this lesson, what we're going to be doing is just delaying that transition between questions. So right now, whenever you answer the question, it automatically jumps straight to the next question. We want to go ahead and add a little bit of a delay in that change. And what we're going to use that for eventually is going to be adding in a little bit of feedback that comes up onto the screen that says either you're correct or you're wrong. But for now, we're just adding in the delay. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and just select what comes after this first else here in the check answer function. So if questions finished is less than the number of questions at length minus 1, all the way to the end of this else here. So just that whole section, I'm going to Control X to cut it. So I have it copied essentially, but I'm going to put it into something else. I'm going to put it into a coroutine. And we're going to use this coroutine to basically do our delay, to delay for some amount of time before we move on to the next question. So let's go ahead and make a coroutine. I'm going to go down here and put a few new lines in, and sort of like making a function, only for the return type it's going to be enumerator right there. And I'm going to call it continue after feedback. And put the parentheses and then add some curly braces. Cool. So this is our coroutine. And the first thing I'm going to do is basically when we do this delay, we don't want to be able to select anything else. We don't want to be able to select other buttons, that sort of thing. We already chose our answers, so we're done with that part. We need to just wait. So I need to go ahead and make a bool to check for that. So it's gonna be private bool, so true or false, and I'm gonna call it allow selection. And by default, I'm gonna set it to true because at the beginning, it should be true. You should be able to select things. So there we go. Now, down here in our enumerator, first thing I'm going to do is, okay, so we're going to call this coroutine up in our check answer function here. So this is whenever you click on a button, it's going to run this. And so say you click on a button, then, and it gets to this, it's going to be like, oh, you selected a button? Well, guess what? You can't select anything until we're done with this pause, until we've moved on to the next question. So allow selection is going to be equal to false. Just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to now do our delay. So to do a delay here in a coroutine, all you got to do is type in yield. So yield and return and new, and then here's the function, wait 4 seconds. Okay. Now it seems a little complicated for our purposes now. Just know this is how you do a delay. So yield, return, new, wait 4 seconds. And then you can type in a float. So I want to type in 1.0f. I guess 1 second. That's how long it's going to be. This is in seconds. Wait 4 seconds. And so that's that. So now what this is going to do is I'm going to call this coroutine. It's going to first set that allow selection to false, and then it's going to wait for a second before it continues execution of the code below it. So now for this code, I'm just going to paste in what we cut earlier. So now that is in place. Cool. So let's actually go about calling this coroutine up in our check answer right here. Okay, so for that, all you have to do is say start coroutine, this function here, and then give it as a parameter a string that is just the name of your coroutine. So for us, it was continue after feedback. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right in there. So paste. Okay, cool. With that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an if around all of this. So I'm going to select all of this code here, and then I'm going to press tab to tab it over a little bit. Go on new line here. If allow selection. So that's important. So if that's true, then you can do all of this. So I'm just putting in some curly braces around what I want that to be around. Okay. So if allow selection, then do all that. Oh, one more thing. Down in our coroutine, we forgot to add one little bit of something in here. We need to make sure we re-enable the allow selection after it does this code, because otherwise you get to the second question and whoa, I can't select anything. That's kind of bad, right? So we don't want that. So make sure we allow selection again by setting that equal to true. That way, when we select a button up here, it's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can do that, totally. And then it's going to go about all of this. So let's save that. Let's go over here, see what errors come up. And it looks like we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and play, and we'll see what happens. Second planet in our solar system, it's Venus. And then wait 1 second. Oh, and there we go. So cool. It seems to be working. Very neat. Very cool. And that's it. I'll see you in the next lesson.